yesterday, I had to be at work at 5 a.m. yesterday. So my first morning urine sample came from, I think I got up at like 4:12, so it was like 4:15 or so. And that test, the Woodfull was still stark white, but the SurePredict, the more sensitive one, had a very faint line. Okay, so when I got to work, I just did my business, whatever, and when I got home, I took another test, and it was a little bit more darker. Well, I decided while I had that sample that I would get a first response pregnancy test, which I had in the cabinet, and I tested that one, and that one was really pink, like really pink, and I'll show you those here in a minute. But so I did that, and that was around 1:10, something like that, when I got home from work. Like, you know what? I think I'm just going to test one more time with the digital. And I did, and it said yes, and I'm excited. And then that night before I went to bed, I tested with the little SurePredict test again. And all three of my SurePredicts are getting just a little bit darker. And I took one again this morning at 2 a.m. when I woke up, and it was a little bit darker. So I have one more that I'm going to do since this is like 7 o'clock now. And I want to test again because I'm paranoid. Because, you know, 7 positives later and I'm still freaking out. And you know, it's been a whole day. So it's not like last time where it was positive and an hour later, nothing. And this positive is so much darker than last month's. This is the Woodfull test. And you can see I've been taking them since crazy. And I thought I ovulated here, but my temperature didn't spike until here. But I've been taking the tests, and so see that last one? Look at that. There's a little tiny line. Those are the least sensitive tests that I have. And then the next set is the SurePredict test, which, I mean, I started the SurePredict when it was accurately this many days. So, I did not start them at the same time. I got them because I was so upset about my ovulation being later in the month and was worried I was going to miss it. So I wanted to have something more sensitive to pick it up. But if you see, yesterday at 4:20 a.m., there is a very tiny line. You can see them better when you line it up, but they are getting darker. And then today's line is even darker. So you can clearly see it on this one. And you can read this up here. I got a positive on these two. Well, this is my first response line test, which, that was so exciting. And I have the video when I tested these. Cougar was home, so I had to whisper. And I didn't want him to know in case it was negative that I was testing. And when I got this, like I'm shaking again. When I got this, I was so excited. And I was like, okay, I have to tell him now. I've known that I was probably pregnant all day, and he's gonna want to know. So I was gonna take a video, but I got so excited that I didn't. I gave him his card that I got from Hallmark 3 years ago because I wanted a baby with him forever. And I dug it out and I signed it and dated it, and I put it in a little envelope and put his name on it. And I carried this to the kitchen discreetly. He was playing a game, so he didn't notice. And I put a notebook over the top of it so he wouldn't notice it was sitting on the counter. And I said, honey, come here, I have something for you, and gave him the card, and he opens it, and it says something along the lines of, your daddy, there's no doubt about it. It's a cute little saying. I can't remember, I'm too nervous right now. But he reads the front of it. He doesn't even open it. He reads the front of it and looks at me, are you pregnant? But he has his eyebrow raised, like, because I've been talking about it nonstop because I'm baby crazy. And so for him he thought it was like a joke, or maybe I was taking a stab at him. But as soon as he said that, I lifted up the notebook and handed this to him. I said, I don't know. Is that pretty sure? And he set it down and he hugged me. And he hugged me tighter than I've ever been hugged before by him. And he was shaking too and excited. And he kept going on and on and on about it. And my mom already knew. I had showed my mom these. But she saw this one. I texted her this one. And she didn't think it was good enough, which I mentioned. So I had to take this one. This sealed it for me. This, I became so unstable at this. Because that, I know it's still not definite, things can happen, but that made my day, that made it real.